Good evening. Last class we started with the new lesson, so that was towards independence. So already we have talked the concept of Quit India movement, which was started by Gandhiji in 1942. And in the previous class also we have discussed about the significance of Quit India movement. So before we go into the concept called towards independence or transfer of power to Indians by British. We are having one concept, so which is called as it is Subhash Chandra Bose and INA, Indian National Army. So in today's class, we are going to talk something about the Subhash Chandra Bose, one of the Indian freedom fighter, one of the famous personality, and one of the Indian, soldier who belongs to the Indian National Army. Okay, so here we will be talking something about Subhash Chandra Bose, then his contributions and its INA. So we are not going in detail, but some important things. So we are going to talk in today's class. So when we talk about Subhash Chandra Bose, it is being said that in Odisha. Okay, so in Odisha, 28 Jan 1897. So he was born. Then after completion of all his the education and after completion of his education, so he also has taken part or he also took part in the civil disobedience movement which was launched by Gandhiji in 1930. So he was a person who participated in that civil disobedience movement. Then in 1938, okay, so in 1938, so he was elected as the president of INC. Okay, so he became a president of INC. So within a year, 1938, he became a president of INC and he resigned INC in 1939. Okay, so the reason he resigned was different opinion which was there between Gandhiji and Subhash Chandra Bose. Okay, so their opinion towards independence or their opinion towards the India, to get the liberation of India was something different. So Gandhiji's path was a path of ahimsa or path of non-violence. But whereas the president, Subhash Chandra Bose, the way of method was revolutionary or the radical or the violence method. So that is the reason. So they had a different opinions. So to which the Gandhiji was supported majorly from all the INC leaders. But whereas Subhash Chandra Bose, so he did not receive a support for a radical method. So that is the reason. So in 1939, okay, so 1939, Subhash Chandra Bose, he resigned from INC and he came out of the, resigned the membership, in the INC, and he himself started the political party, a small political party, so which we call it as a forward bloc. Okay, so forward bloc is a political party, so which was started by Subhash Chandra Bose after resigning from the INC in 1939. Okay, so the forward bloc, when we say it is started by Subhash Chandra Bose, he wanted a radical organization, okay, to rally the INC. Therefore, he established a separate political party called Forward Bloc on 3rd May 1939. So, okay, so he wanted a radical association. Now, how the radical nationalists we had. So, in the same way, he wanted a radical organization to fight against the British and also to cope up with the INC. So, he established this separate political party, on 3rd May 1939, so which was called as a Forward Bloc. Okay, so when he started this Forward Bloc, he had set out the three major objectives. Okay, so objectives of Forward Bloc. The first objective was socialist life of administration. This means in entire India, without any discrimination, the equality concept should be present. That's nothing but socialist life of administration. Okay, so every Indian should be treated in a manner of equality. Okay, that equality should be there for entire India with the socialist life of administration. That was set out as a first objective. Second one was immediate liberation of India. Okay, as soon as possible, the India should receive independence from British. So India should be liberated. Okay, that is the second one. Then to set up a new monetary system. Okay, new economic order or new economic system should start or should exist in India from 1939 onwards. He wanted the system of economic order. Okay, where all the Indians should be given a job. So all the Indians should have a proper lifestyle. Okay, so all the things economic order. Okay, the economic system of India should be changed. For that purpose, so he started this forward block. On 3rd May 1939. So even though he did not get support from an INC for the forward block, but the workers, the peasants, and the employees, students, and as well as the youths, mostly the youths, so they gave complete support for Subhash Chandra Bose to carry out this forward block. So like this, as he started the forward block in 1939, so 1939, 1940, and 1941, 1942, so till 1943. Okay, so we can see the majorly lot of contributions of Subhash Chandra Bose. Which in the in this forward block. Okay, so which he had done it. So such a successfully, so he started this forward block and he started this forward block. But meanwhile, unfortunately, so in 1940, so Subhash Chandra Bose was arrested by a British. So under an act of a British government. So British had introduced a defense act. That means whoever follows the radical methods or whoever creates a violence, such people will be arrested in India. So that act was introduced in that act, under that act, Subhash Chandra Bose was arrested in 1940. He was arrested, and when he was arrested in 1940, so Subhash Chandra Bose was taken to the prison and he was kept in the prison. Okay, so when he was kept in the prison, so he started troubling the British government or troubling the British in the prison. So that is the reason. So British felt very difficult to control Subhash Chandra Bose in prison. So for that purpose, so they decided. Okay, so they started to think. So what else can be done? In order to control Subhash Chandra Bose. So there also he created a group and he started to stand against the British even in the prison. So for that purpose, so Subhash Chandra Bose. Okay, so 1940 when he was arrested for under the defense of under the defense of India Act, under that act, so he was arrested, and in 1941, okay, so 1941 he was released from the prison and he was kept house arrest in Kolkata. So like that, when he was arrested in 1941 in Kolkata, when he was kept in the house arrest, so from there house arrest, some or other way, he plans and he escapes. He escapes to from Kolkata. He reached Russia, and after that, he reached Germany, where Hitler gives a shelter to Subhash Chandra Bose in Germany. In 1941. Then after 1941, so when he gets shelter from Germany, so there only he gets an idea of this Indian National Army, that Nazi party which was started by Hitler. So as you all know, at the time of 1940, 1941, 1942 and all, the Second World War was going on in the European countries. So like that, Hitler gives a shelter to Subhash Chandra Bose. So there he gets the knowledge of the entire the system or the entire ideas regarding the Nazi party. Okay, so like this, Subhash Chandra Bose, 1941. He escapes to Germany. From the arrest, and at the same time in 1941, there is a formation of INA in India. So the INA, that is Indian National Army, it was formed in 1941 by Ras Bihari Bose. Okay. Ras Bihari Bose. And the army was first formed in 1942 by a Captain Mohan Singh. So he was a commander in chief. Okay. So here Ras Bihari Bose, he had an conference, or he had conducted an conference in Bangkok. So that in that Bangkok conference, so he had said that, so we need to have an setup of INA. So we need to start an INA, and at the same time we need to start an Indian, Independence League. Okay, so Indian Independence League, one of the joint association should be started, and at the same time, so we should have a conference. Okay, so one more conference has to take up for the formation of INA. So like this, when it was, thinking. So finally, in 1941, so Ras Bihari Bose's idea of formation of INA and even the Indian Independence League, one of the association, and keeping these two intention in mind, so Ras Bihari Bose, so finally he started, this Indian National Army with the captain, Mohan Singh. Okay, so formed, and he was taken as an, 1942. The Captain Manmohan Singh. So he becomes the main personality to the Indian National Army. And in 1943, okay, so in 1943, so in Tokyo, one more conference was arranged. So in that conference, so they had decided that this INA and Independence League, these two, major the associations has to be given to somebody. Okay, so for that purpose, they choose a personality. So he's called Subhash Chandra Bose. So that's how the invitation was sent to Subhash Chandra Bose to Germany. So Subhash Chandra Bose accepted the invitation, and he came to Tokyo in 1943. And in 1943, Subhash Chandra Bose was handed over the Indian Independence League and INA to India, his control. So from 1943 onwards, Subhash Chandra Bose becomes the president of Indian Independence League and Supreme Command of, INA. Okay, so from 1943 onwards, the functioning of INA, started to take place, in India. So when we see the objectives of INA, okay, so when we see the objectives of INA, so when Subhash Chandra Bose took up this INA under his control, so in 1943, so he had set out some of the objectives, two objectives. One is to work towards the liberation of India, especially wherever the Indians are being taken by the British and where the colonies practice. So such places will be immediately liberated from, for the liberation of our country. Second, the major thing was to acquire support from outside India and fight against the British. Okay, to take the support of outside countries. So that's how Japan was giving complete support to Subhash Chandra Bose. So Japan is the one which made Subhash Chandra Bose to, which gave confidence to Subhash Chandra Bose to become the president of Indian Independence League and to take especially the INA under his control, because Japan promised that it will be supplying all the sources in man, in weapon. Okay, so in all of these sources will be supplied in man and weapons to Subhash Chandra Bose by Japan. So like that, Subhash Chandra Bose was, in need of the support of outside countries which are all against the British. So to taking their support, Subhash Chandra Bose thought of having fight against the British. So in that, so Japan was the one country, so which gave complete, or Japan government was a country which gave complete support in necessary of whatever the necessary arms required for an to the Subhash Chandra Bose, equipments and the weapons completely supported by Japan government to Subhash Chandra Bose. So with that confidence, the Subhash Chandra Bose from 1943 onwards, he started his journey under Indian National Army. So like this, when he started his journey under Indian National Army, the journey was just for a very short period, like 2 years, not even 2 years, like 1.5 years of his journey. So in INA, so he has got a lot of contributions. If you see, first and foremost, when Subhash Chandra Bose became an supreme command of INA. So Andaman Nicobar Islands, which was under the control of Japan, so it was given to Subhash Chandra Bose to take care. Okay, the first place which was given to Subhash Chandra Bose to take under his control, that was Andaman Nicobar Islands. So he named as an Sahid and Suraj. Then later on, if when we come to Subhash Chandra Bose contributions, so he captured Maudok. Okay, so Maudok, that is in Chitango in 1944, one of the places he captured. Then as usual, his contribution, Forward Bloc, the political party which he started in 1939. Then his slogans are very famous. The sayings of Subhash Chandra Bose. One is Jai Hind, one of the famous one. Then Delhi Chalo, one of the famous slogan. And very important slogan, give me your blood and I shall give you freedom, which was under the banner of INA, which he had given, which motivated many youths. Okay, so many youths to join, INA. So that's the one thing. So like this, Subhash Chandra Bose started his journey. So finally, Subhash Chandra Bose in 1945. So 1945. So Subhash Chandra Bose, along with his, army. So he reached India. Okay, he came to India, and the main aim of this INA was, in the INA he had fixed it was to capture, a place called, Impal, that is the capital city of Manipur. So this place he wanted to capture. So to capture this place in 1945, almost 200 kilometers inside India he entered. So when he entered after the 200 kilometers inside India, where to capture a place called Impal, so suddenly the Japan government got collapsed. Okay, Japan force got collapsed. That is the reason is, so as you all know, in 1945 in Japan, Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki takes up. So when this bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki took up by an USA, so the Japan government got surrendered completely to USA. So when Japan got surrendered to USA, here Subhash Chandra Bose. So when he took up INC, Japan government was giving complete support to Subhash. Now the Subhash Chandra Bose was left without nobody to help him. So now the Subhash Chandra Bose had only a one thing in his mind. The mind which he had fixed it, or in mind which he had fixed it was, now already 200 kilometers he has entered India. Now only the thing which he had was either to go back from India or to stand and fight against the British. Now to stand and fight against the British, he is not having arms or equipments or the supply of an man by an Japan government, because Japan government already surrendered to America because of bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Okay, so that made Subhash Chandra Bose to decide to go back to Tokyo. Then once again he thought of entering. But meanwhile, Subhash Chandra Bose, it was said that, so after when he came to India to capture a place called Impal, so because of Japan surrender to USA, so Subhash Chandra Bose decided to go back to Tokyo. Okay, so while going back, so it was said that in aeroplane that accident, in May 1945 on his way to Tokyo, so Subhash Chandra Bose was killed. And when he took up the in charge of command of an INA, so he was given a title, so that is Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, so which was given. So like that, Subhash Chandra Bose journey ends in 1945, but the journey ends of Subhash Chandra Bose, but this INA, which became very famous in India, and today is the one pillar of one strength of our country today. Today our country stands on this. Okay, so after death of Subhash Chandra Bose, so the INA became very powerful weapon in India, and it also helped the Indian independence also, where finally British people realized it's also difficult to fight against the Indian National Army in India. So like that, the death of Subhash Chandra Bose leads to a conclusion. So here very important thing is forward block, and the contributions, and the INA is very important. So you can just go through it. So today by I mean evening. So that is by before 7 o'clock. So I want the previous lesson, that is towards independence lesson and Subhash Chandra Bose's lesson, notes to be sent to me. Okay. So till here you can go through it. So next, the last topic of the Indian national movement, we will go with the next class. Thank you.